Once I have saved my CSVs in one worksheet or workbook for one program, I go ahead and start to work with the data. First thing I'll do is I'll do an auto sum just to get the n, and so I'll just auto sum, enter, and drag it down. Sometimes people skip certain cells, and so it doesn't come out the same, but this is an n 273. So I come back here and I actually put it in right away. N equals 273. So that when I go and pull my charts from Excel to Word, I'll have the N there. The next thing I do is I actually create empty columns. And so what I'll do is I will insert in between exemplary and proficiency. I will just insert a column. I come over and insert the opposite column so that I can get my percentages in. And this is a little on the tedious side, but it's not as hard as it seems. Then at that point, I need to get my Word doc, and I will need to enter my percentages. I'm not sure I saved it in my Word doc this time. Let me see if I still have it. I do have it on my live text still. So I can go ahead and begin to do my percentages. Typically, I would put one screen on one screen on one monitor and the other on the other. So, but I can see these adequately. So for 230%, 32, it's 84, and I'll just hold on, size this just a bit so that I can have them side by sides, since you can't see two monitors when I'm videotaping. So 232 is going to be 84. And I literally just put them in as 84%. And I go on down, 192 is 72%. And sometimes my computer doesn't work right, 72, or my fingers don't work right, I should say. 201 is 73%. 181 is 66%. And 152 is 55%. So that is a little bit tedious, and you could potentially do that easier with analytics, but I haven't bothered because it's not that time consuming. So I'm just doing my percentages for proficient. My only problem is that for some reason I keep not holding down the key for the shift key for the percent. So we're at 56, which is 20%, 65, which is 23%, 107 is 39%. The only other issue is that sometimes you can have problems with human error. So here's a 1%, 13 is 4%. And sometimes I'll start copying them. So if I see 4%, copy on the other 13. 24 is 8%. 14 is 5%. And of course, we have some more 3s, and they're all 1%. So I'll just copy those. And then we have 0% and down to 0%. And I could have copied that too. Although I'll just come over here and go 0%. And this time I'll just autofill by dragging down on the right corner. And now I have my percentages. Now I don't need my Word doc, so I can get rid of that. And at this point, I can start to work with my data. One of the things that I always do is I try to go to my numbering, right-click, format cells, numbers, go to number, and I try to limit it to 2 decimal places because otherwise you'll end up with multiple decimals, and it's hard enough to get these tables onto landscape, let alone portrait, which is typically what they want, is to end up with them on portrait. So I'll just go ahead and make sure I have the 2 decimals on the standard deviation and the mean. The mode's usually fine because it's just the same, the number of students, number of scores. So at this point, I am ready to add, to average my percentages. So I just simply come over to my calculations, pick average, and here's sort of a cheap thing I do. I just go across and then I get rid of those that aren't supposed to be there.